On. We're live. Welcome back to another episode of the Not So Elite Podcast. And this time, I didn't go to the show, but someone else did.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm trying to deal with my lighting issues in the hotel just outside Detroit, so I apologize for that.
He's
But
committed
yes,
to it. To our few
yes,
listeners out there.
that's right. That's right. You and me on replay, the two
Yeah.
listeners.
So how was the show? Looked like a standard Dynamite.
Yeah, it was really good. I mean, or I don't know, maybe I shouldn't say really good. It was a good show. I enjoyed
Mm.
it. I think that I was sending you some pictures from the Masonic Temple in Detroit.
Mm.
I know they outdrew their crowd from last year, which I was also at last year's shows in this venue, and
Mm.
it's a really unique venue. It was hot in there, so I maybe
Ah,
felt some
I was about
some of
to
the
ask
guys.
anything about the AC because I'm like, it does not look like they have AC there.
So it's an old building. It was they're actually celebrating the 100-year anniversary of that building.
Jesus.
Yeah, so it was warm. But it was really cool. I've been in there before, and like just even like the vaulted ceilings and some of the architecture, like it
Oh yeah, it
is
was like awesome.
those unique
What a
venues.
setting.
I know I've told you about it, and like you experienced
Mm.
it at Beach Break, and it's like it just is. It's a cool, like different way to experience wrestling. And I mean, I think leaving the show, my takeaways, like my immediate takeaways are
Mm.
I look at last year's All In and I look at this year's All In, and they sell you on the big three. So last year it was Omega Okada,
Mm.
Mercedes Tony Storm, Hangman Moxley. And it feels like this year's big three are Mercedes Willow, um, Cope and Cage versus the Young Bucks, and Kenny versus Osprey. And coming out of a pay-per-view and now building toward that big was this for the Motor City Machine Guns?
Yeah, they didn't come out tonight.
I thought they would too. A lot of people thought they would. But yeah, I mean, like, I felt like, I mean, some of the matches I
Mm.
was okay with. They were fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
But
Leo Rush.
yeah, what the hell, man? Probably Collision tomorrow.
Yeah.
But uh I felt like the three angles that they were trying to sell, they took strides in. Cope and Cage and the Young Bucks was a pre-tape.
Yeah.
But it was a good segment. At least from my experience in person, I don't know if it came across this way on TV.
Mm.
Two things. One, the crowd was insanely hot. Like
Oh
they
yeah, they
were
loved Willow.
fucking loud
That was
all
like the
night.
loudest reaction, I think.
Which one?
For Willow.
Yes. Yep. That was going to be my second point. I thought the crowd overall was so loud, but I thought Willow Nightingale, I could not believe how much this crowd loved her.
Mm.
Um, so her and Mercedes, really good segment, and Willow is so over. And this show being not advertised as a 2.5 hour edition of Dynamite, I think it actually went a couple minutes past 10:30.
Oh yeah.
Um, that's frustrating, and again, just like Redemption, which you and I didn't review because of just like the
Oh, let's do the review. It was terrible. Worst AEW pay per view this year.
worst AEW pay-per-view this year. Yeah, I don't know that I would
That's
say
our AEW Redemption review. Like, comment, subscribe for more.
like I said this to our buddy Nick that we watch with. Like,
Mm.
I don't want to call it terrible because you're watching a pro wrestling pay-per-view. So to call it terrible is to say the pro wrestling was terrible. But it was the worst pay-per-view of the year. To me, it will rank at least right now as one of the worst AEW pay-per-views.
Mm.
There were still good matches on it, but they could have trimmed the fat by at least an hour. And certainly tonight on Dynamite, they could have trimmed the fat by 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's like you've got a collision tomorrow. Like, why would you not? Like, you could save one or two of these matches for Collision. Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand why Collision is always, I don't know, it just feels so frequently buried.
Yeah, two shows
Um,
to tell stories, and they just want to tell their main stories on one show, and they
yeah,
might do a little bit of lasagna leftovers on Collision.
yeah, yeah. There were, oh, 1 second here.
Gatorade. This podcast is sponsored by Gatorade Zero.
That's
No
right,
more money
zero.
comes from zero. Oh, we got paid
No.
$0 from Gatorade Zero for that
Fuck.
ad.
The yeah, so I mean, I don't know if we'll end up jumping around, but like
Hmm.
the I'll just say as a from a live viewer, things I liked were I felt like the big three storylines all took steps forward, which was great. They each of those segments, as I mentioned, with the big three, gave me a reason to invest more. So I like that.
Hmm.
I really enjoyed the triple threat opening match. I thought that was really fun.
Oh yeah, that was a great way to start the show. I thought.
Yeah, really good way there. I really enjoyed the fact that the Demand won the trios titles. I really think if you look over the last 6 months, maybe even longer, they're like the best trio in AEW. So, do I have confidence in the company that they'll do something meaningful with the belts? Eh, but good for them. Good for Ricochet. He's got a second title now in AEW. Um, and again, like the matches, there's nothing really wrong with any of them.
Hmm.
The 2 points that I did not, and maybe you watching at home can chime in here. Um, the 2 points that I didn't love coming out of the show are so the opening of the show was awesome.
Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed the opening of the show.
Clown Posse.
Hangman, what's that?
The insane clown posse. You really like that?
Yeah, I liked that. I thought that shocked me. I thought, holy shit, he's partnering with Juggalo Championship Wrestling will be at Forbidden Door next year.
That'd be
Uh,
awesome. But the
but
real
like,
beginning of the
I,
show.
it was cool. It was cool to see them actually. People popped for them. But like, okay, so I loved the opening, and Hangman shows up, and the crowd's like, oh my god, amazing pop in the building. But the two concerns leaving the show kind of stem from the beginning of the show.
Hmm.
Because Hangman's there, and Hangman comes out to help Brody King and the conglomeration chase out Lethal Twist and the Demand.
Hmm.
And I'm thinking in my head, okay, is there going to be like a stadium stampede match between these groups at All In? And like, that's fine, I guess. But like,
Hmm.
for me, if that's the case, maybe it was a one off. And if it was,
Hmm.
fine. But if it wasn't, that I hate that for Hangman Adam Page. I hate for his All In. Like he should be a prominent he should be prominently featured at All In Wembley. And like I didn't understand him coming out there. And with John Moxley, um, okay, I can live with maybe Osprey gave back the Death Riders patch.
Hmm.
Maybe they're going to be quiet for a few weeks and allow that to simmer over for Moxley to reemerge around All In or post All In to get us set up for that. I'm okay with that. I actually am okay with that. What confused me was, as at least a viewer in
Yeah.
the audience, is
I got some fun news for you.
well, I can't wait for it because I'll tell you there was some news for me as a fan in the arena.
Hmm.
Uh, he beats Commander, and then there's
Great match.
a really good match. Yes, definitely. But then there's a vignette, and he's outside, and he goes, "What did he say?" He said, "There's a ton of buzz in the back about the Continental Cup,"
Yeah,
and
I was like, huh? I
and
was
I thought
confused
to
there
myself,
too.
"What the fuck is the Continental Cup?" And I'm guessing that's an unannounced thing that is now going to play a role over the next few weeks, and maybe that will determine who will dethrone John Moxley. But like, what is the Continental Cup? Is it a tournament? Is it the Continental Classic in August instead of December and November? Like
Fuck.
that,
Great question.
and he goes, all the wrestlers in the back, all the buzz around the Continental Cup. Actually, there's no buzz. Nobody knows what the fuck that is. So like,
I think
what are we
Mox is
doing?
on that good stuff again.
I think he's on that good, that glug glug.
But speaking about the Death Riders, it seems like from what they announced, we're gonna get Will Ospreay versus Daniel Garcia on Collision.
Mhm.
So I don't.
Yeah.
I think they're going to continue doing this Death Riders Will Ospreay feud, which I think they're jumping the gun way too early on this feud.
Yeah, I mean, is the goal is he just going to beat up people for the next couple of weeks, but avoid Moxley, and then like maybe after All In, Moxley comes on. It's like, all right, it's time for the final boss. Cue the Rock's music.
I don't even know. I think it's stupid. Personally, I'm like, oh,
Yeah, I will say I really did like,
hmm.
despite it being a 2.5 hour show. I really liked the Osprey Omega promo.
Oh, that was the Osprey Omega promo. Probably the best, definitely the best part of this show. I'm glad they made that like the main event thing. It needed to be a main event segment. You needed
Yeah.
to hear why Kenny turned his back on Osprey. It
Mhm.
made sense. Nothing here is like stupid cartoon logic. It's like, okay, I understand where Kenny's coming from. He needs to have his energy. And
Yeah.
Osprey not backing down there after getting slapped probably like 6 times. I didn't count, but he got slapped multiple times. He looked like a little
Yeah.
young boy out there.
It was, dude. Okay, that I did laugh at the opening segment where
Mm.
what did Garcia say? He goes, "Young boy, yo, young boy Billy," and he just gets knocked out. I like just I love Danny Garcia is like such a loser right now, but like he
Yeah,
like
he's
looks
got a
all
Yuta.
cool. But yeah, he's like on Utah status, which is such a shame for him. But like, but you see Garcia and he's like, "Yo, young boy Billy," and like just gets knocked out, just like a fucking loser, you know.
For me in Florida, he's that white kid that sits with the black kids at the lunch table that wants to be black, but he isn't black, and he's like, ah, come on.
He does kind of give that vibe.
Yeah.
Like he does kind of give like the Eminem of pro wrestlers.
I feel like that one guy from the scary movies where like he's rapping, he wants to be like a rap. Not, I don't know
In
his name.
Scary
He's got
Movie
a
3.
yeah, that one guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
he
Yep.
gives me more of that energy than Eminem.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see
You
that.
don't love me cause I'm black.
Eh, yeah, you think you could get that gimmick over right now?
I think Daniel Garcia could get that over.
He starts wearing a fucking
Mox.
dude. He's
Mox, you don't love me cause I'm black. It's like
he
what?
starts he starts wearing a do-rag to the ring. Fucking-
Yeah. He joins the private party.
oh my God, what a fucking idiot. I like it just I don't know, man. Yeah, they're doing that on Collision. They're doing some form of the Death Riders versus the Bang Bang Gang.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I don't know. Like it was, I thought the Osprey Omega stuff was good. I would say that like I would agree with you is probably my favorite segment, but a really, really close second is the Willow Mercedes thing because of how over it was.
Oh yeah.
You
Hearing
know,
that
like
crowd chant for Willow, how loud was it there in person
oh,
hearing that?
oh my gosh. It was deafening. It was the loudest pop of the night. Like and I know Willow's over, but I was like, holy shit, like this is they love this woman. And good for her. That's just so
Mm.
great. And she was I think it was like I don't think it was fake. I think it was like real emotions that were
Oh,
coming out
definitely.
for her. Because I almost like I think from my angle, like it looked like Renee was like wiping a tear. Like how happy
Because
Renee
you're on
was for her.
TV watching it, it was like Renee was like trying to talk over, but the fans are so freaking loud. It's like, oh shit,
Yeah.
you can't, not gonna be able to have like talk, can't think.
Yeah. And good on them. Good on them
Mm.
for recognizing that and like letting that moment breathe and letting the crowd take it because um I think that's really important. Uh there were some matches that made sense for Grand Slam Mexico. After Andrade won, it sounded like he's going to be in a qualifier for where the winner will, I assume, get the number 1 or 2 entrant in the Casino Gauntlet at All
Oh
In.
yeah.
So they did announce that as a fourth match for Wembley. So like that was good. Speedball got the pin on I think it was Doyle that he pinned in the trios match, but the idea was he beat the team Kyle Fletcher was on to get
Yep.
heat there to build into their
Kyle
match.
Fletcher looked scared. He's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
They
So
had a good camera angle there.
I was gonna say because I could see like from where I was sitting, you could see like the
Mm.
video drawn, and from what I saw, it looks like you guys at home would have seen Fletcher's face like shocked looking in the ring,
Yeah,
like
it looked
jaw
like he
dropped.
potentially was like gonna break it up, and then it was
Yeah.
he was like too late.
So like they did a good job there. I just feel like Grand Slam Mexico was a bigger deal last year. and it
Mm.
doesn't feel like, I mean, I'm sure Collision will see a couple of announcements, but like I was a little surprised that we didn't get like, because what do we have for Grand Slam? We have Andrade is going to compete in this match. We have uh Fletcher versus Bailey for the international title. And then they did do a backstage segment with Mark Davis, so it'll be Mark Davis versus Will Ospreay, which is that'll be
Okay.
good. They'll be good matches. But it's like, where are the Mysticos of the world, the Hechiceros, the Dralisico, like
Yeah.
where are some of these luchadors that, not that I really clamor for it, because in my opinion, like your week to week television for All In and the build to that really need to include the people that you're going to see at All In.
Yeah.
So I don't like that fork in the road where like, hey, 3 weeks out, let's do a show with CMLL. But I am still a little surprised that they didn't put more behind this.
The thing is, they got plenty of time to have some little storylines here and then. They just came from Redemption, so they kind of want to tell, like, oh, okay, this is the aftermath of Redemption. Now let's kind of build to Grand Slam Mexico, and then All In is going to be. You're kind of building up to two of those pay per views at once.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. Okada showed up in that backstage segment,
Oh shit!
right? And was like, oh, we'll keep the international title in the Don Callis family. So I still firmly believe we are going to see Okada Fletcher Takeshita for Wembley.
I hope so. That was like
Yeah.
a big major match. You have three of your big stars, and you just put them in one match, and the story and the aftermath of that is going to be not frozen.
That's right. Yeah.
It's going to be
Frozen
not.
in time. But yeah, those were kind of my it feels like we jumped around and I felt like I went in a way. I don't know. I mean, obviously we can talk about it more, but yeah, those are kind of my thoughts. There was the angle with My World beat Persephone. It looked like Sheeta was going to help Persephone, but then Statlander sort of
Yeah,
interfered. So I don't know, that could easily set up a tag match on a Collision or a Dynamite. I don't think that
yeah.
that's long in the tooth for the All In story. I mean, I think you have
Nah,
you have you have 4 matches booked for All In, right? The big three and then the Casino Gauntlet. You probably coming out of this show, and I think we knew these were going to happen anyway, but um match 5, probably the international title 3-way. Um match 6, Brawling Birds and Divine Dominion. Um Beyond
it's
that, I didn't get a vibe for any new threads. Not to say that, and obviously I'm sure they'll come up here in the coming weeks.
it's interesting what's gonna happen here because they I don't know if you paid attention to Twitter, but the New Day posted a little rainbow unicorn cartoon. Now they're
I did see
official
that.
free agents.
I did see that. Did you see people getting emotional over the symbolism of the unicorn with the broken horn being Big E?
Oh no, I didn't really
There's a
really
yeah, there's a
notice.
part, and it's kind of the symbolism of like, go ahead, guys, go on without
Mm.
me, and you know, um, I mean, I think people know like they're showing up. At the same time, it was surprising that the Motor City Machine Guns were not here. Um, and I mean, there's a lot of slate they could fill on Collision. So like
Well, it's a
maybe
good
they're
sign that they didn't show up because it means they probably don't have anything planned for them, and as might as well just wait until they have something planned instead of being like, "Oh, Motor City is here. What are you gonna do with them?" I don't know.
yeah,
Who's here
like
on Collision?
well, but okay, so like, and then I thought about that, and I thought, man, like, so I'll tell you, and I mean, we look at like, I know I'm a little bit more of the numbers guy. So
Yeah.
Dynamite tonight, Dynamite tonight was almost a sellout. It was a little short, but it was around 3,500 people.
Oh, look, packed on TV.
It was
That's
great.
great.
It was great. It was again, it was really near capacity.
Mm.
Now they're running the same venue tomorrow for Collision. The
Okay.
last I looked, okay, so they had 3,500 out for Dynamite. The last I looked, Collision had like 1,500 out.
Mm.
Okay, so way down. All right.
Getting tickets? See you on tomorrow.
I have tickets. I just don't know if I'm gonna actually go because I gotta get home. I gotta play Halo. But
Oh, true.
among other logistical hurdles. But uh it's so for me, it was like, all right, well, and I mean, stranger things have happened with these guys, but I thought if you're gonna have like when and Tony does,
Mm-hmm.
ticket sales are struggling for the Thursday show. Uh, okay, you've booked a Will Ospreay match. Sure, that'll entice some people, but like I would have thought that there would be some level of a tease for the Motor City Machine Guns on Collision. Again, a tease
Okay.
if they were showing up. Because if you're trying to make some money here, you do some level of a tease about something happening tomorrow. Oh, there's going to be a mystery tag team against these guys.
Yeah.
You might sell some more tickets, you know. So the fact that they didn't do that, like, does kind of lead me to believe that they're not showing up tomorrow, which everybody thought they would show up in Detroit. So now it's like, okay, did they sign with AEW? I mean, I think everybody believed they did, but like maybe they didn't. I think the New Day, I think that's a different story. I think the
Yeah.
New Day are look at like that video you talked about with the unicorns, that shit blew up on social media. That shows how big of a draw they are in comparison to the Motor City Machine Guns.
For me, Motor City, whatever Machine Guns. I'm like, they were in WWE. I kind of forget. Like they won the
Yeah.
tag team championships at WrestleMania, and that's the biggest thing you can do in WWE. And then they weren't on TV.
Yep.
I like a memorable role.
Yeah. I think I think the New Day are the bigger draw. My assumption is both teams are getting signed. But it did surprise me. I think it surprised a lot of people that they weren't on tonight's show.
I'm surprised they didn't announce anything for Hangman because it seemed like he had a briefcase, like a luggage suitcase. I'm assuming he has clothes to change in, so why wouldn't he wrestle? But
Well, like I said, I mean, well, that's true. That's true. But it's like, is he knowing them? They'll announce it at like 5 o'clock tomorrow,
yeah,
and it'll be
and
against
Hangman's gonna be wrestling.
it'll be against some fucking random guy, or it'll be against yeah, it'll be against
Jay Lethal,
yeah,
right?
Jay Lethal,
Yeah,
right? And they'll do that, and it's like, could he have benefited from a fucking announcement? Like, it's the guy that
definitely.
main evented last year's All In returning after being out for a few months. Like, um, so yeah, I don't know. Like, I just really hope that for his sake, tonight
Mm-hmm.
was more or less like a quick run in with nothing else. Um, because like, remember, he can no longer challenge for the world title. So when I look at All
So
In, it's not like he can be in that casino gauntlet, you
I'm
know?
afraid I got some bad news. I think he's probably to go after those trios championships again with
With
Brody
who?
King and Brodito.
I mean, like, that's such a disappointment to me.
That's
You
what it
know,
seems like they were doing from what I'm seeing on TV. Well, he came out there to help them. Brody King came out there, and Hangman came out there. So I'm like, Bandito ain't doing
or
nothing.
well, again, what the fuck is the Continental Cup? Like,
Yeah,
maybe he's in that, whatever that is.
that would be pretty cool. Have freaking Hangman versus Mox again for the Continental
Yeah,
Championship. I wouldn't be mad at against that.
neither would I. I think that would be great. I just hope they explain the fucking rules. So,
First man to
uh,
piss in a cup wins the title match.
well, it's like, so it can't, my guess is
Mm,
it's not gonna be the Continental Classic.
yeah.
I believe they will keep that tournament where it is. Maybe it is just gonna be a straight up tournament, and the
Mm,
winner faces John Moxley at All In, or John Moxley has to participate in the tournament, you know, and that's fine. Like, I am actually okay with it if they believe that that is a way to get to something for him to have a meaningful match at Wembley. Certainly, if it's a meaningful challenger like a Hangman or a Swerve,
yeah.
or a Swerve Strickland. But yeah, I don't know. I still think MJF and Andrade is also a direction for Wembley because
Mm,
Andrade pointed to that diamond ring again, man. Like that, you're not doing, I would think you're not doing that to tease to nothing. Maybe MJF's going to cost Andrade his spot in the Casino Gauntlet next week. I don't know.
yeah.
Um, but like, that to me feels like more of a story, and honestly more of a meaningful one for Andrade, because whoever wins the Casino Gauntlet, like, I don't know, I don't necessarily have a lot of confidence that whomever wins that is going to be winning the world title.
Thing is, we don't know who's going to be in the Casino Gauntlet. Thing is, they have these
That's
random
true.
people in it, and then you have the big name that wins it, and then you go, "Oh shit, this person might win it," and then
That's true.
unless
Yeah.
Speedball Mike Bailey wins it, and then you go, "Okay, he's fucking losing."
No, I'm just like I'm sitting here thinking that, like, if you're doing a Casino Gauntlet, and maybe I'm wrong, but
Mm,
like these matches, these Casino Gauntlets, they've often had the challenger at a pay-per-view then. So like, to me, whoever's winning it, it's not a, hey, this Wednesday on Dynamite, they're going to be fighting for the title. You
yeah,
know, it's, hey, they won this big important match. Here's this big program that we're going to build up for them. And maybe it's at the next pay per view. Maybe it's 4 months down the road. I don't know. But like, when I look at that, I feel like it's got to be, it's probably not going to be somebody pulling double duty at the pay per view. Right.
mm,
So, like, you know, it could be Swerve. Right. Like,
yeah.
or maybe I'm wrong, and I don't love this. I really do not love this, but like maybe Andrade does make it in, and maybe MJF screws Andrade and wins the Casino Gauntlet for back-to-back years at All In.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking MJF.
But like, to me, if you do that, what I don't like is MJF doesn't get that prominent one-on-one that to me would add to some ticket sales.
Hmm.
But maybe I'm wrong.
AEW is going to do what AEW wants to do, and I think
That's
tonight
true.
was a great way of going forward. I can't wait to see what they do on Collision. I'm slightly excited for Collision.
Maybe, yeah, yeah. It will be live, so I mean, we'll see if they do anything there. And then obviously, I think Grand Slam Mexico will be fun regardless, just because they'll have a big crowd on hand, and that'll be a fun
Mm-hmm.
atmosphere.
Tony Schiavone is really excited to go back to Mexico.
Dude, he was on fire at Redemption too. He was like the
Mm-hmm.
most excited guy. He was watching the best show of his career, and I was like,
Hulk
I
Hogan, Finger Punk Kadoom back in
that's a,
WCW.
if Tony Schiavone was sitting next to me at the Redemption announce table, and if you like seriously look at the
Mm-hmm.
amount of times they cut to the announce crew during Redemption, and he's like,
Even tonight, like he was that energy, but Taz is like, yeah, I'm here, guys.
was Taz there tonight? I didn't even know.
Yeah, he was there.
Okay. If I was if if I was on the Redemption announce team and I saw Tony Schiavone getting excited after like match 7, this would be me. You know? But
I don't know how
hey,
he does it.
each their own.
Any other thoughts about Dynamite tonight? You feel like that's a
We for a 2.5 hour episode, we kind of did a bit of a speed run through this. Um
I think we need to keep this pace going forward.
I like this. Yes, I like this. Yeah, no, I would just say that my closing thoughts are that I feel they, like I said, they did a really good job with the big three. Collision is live tomorrow. There is an opportunity to explain more, which I would like to see.
Mm,
I'd like to come out of Collision with a little more for Grand Slam Mexico and specifically the Continental Cup. Like
yeah.
that to me is actually maybe the biggest question mark I actually had coming out of the show. um, but they did a really good job closing, and you said it a moment ago. AEW is going to do what AEW is going to do and wants to do, and Tony Khan wants to do, because like Redemption, this was an unadvertised 2.5 hour edition of Dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
And you can advertise that next time. Sometimes that'll help people.
Yeah,
But
they
on
did that
top
for
of,
me. Luckily, I was like,
oh,
oh,
right.
10:30. I was like, shit.
But it's like you could have taken and I don't want to take anything away from the women, but like
Mm,
you could have taken Persephone and Maya World and put that on Collision. You,
yeah,
um,
or even the pay per view. I think that would have been a way better match for pay per view.
maybe, yeah, or Grand Slam Mexico, because
Yeah, that's what I
Persephone is
mean.
the
Grand
fucking
Slam,
CMLL champion,
or at least
right?
you run that shit back but Maya World tries to go for her championship.
Maybe, yeah.
I hope they
You
do that.
know, I mean, and if you wanted that for the sake of having a women's match on Dynamite, then I
Mm.
would look to, I hate to say it, sorry, Mox, but like I do think the one match that could have been booted is Moxley and Commander. That it was a really fun match. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, that could have been on Collision.
Could have been on
Advertise that for
Collision,
Collision because my favorite
right?
part of that match was the 450 splash. He does like some action figure shit. He goes from the top rope, he bounces off, and then he does. It was
Yeah.
awesome.
So like that because when I think about it, like okay, the trios match that Bailey wins, that makes sense to keep on Dynamite because that's
Mm-hmm.
promoting him and Fletcher next week. The trios title match had a title change, so that was really good, and I think that was a great way to close the show in terms of match quality. The opening of the show with Andrade was really strong, and he had just won the national title. He's super over right now, but Moxley is on both shows. You had him in a vignette to start Dynamite,
Yep.
so having him and he had he had a predictable win against Commander. We knew it would be fun, but he had a
Yeah.
predictable win. So, that could have been on Collision and that saves you 20 minutes and maybe we're talking about a 10-minute overrun versus a 33 or 34-minute one, whatever it was.
But the real question is, how do you know?
How you know?
I think it's good Dynamite. I think that's all our thoughts and prayers for next week to be another good Dynamite and a quick review. Amen, Jesus. And until next time, like, comment, and subscribe to this playlist on the YouTube.